And here we go. Today we are going to apply our work, exponential and logarithmic word problems. Compound interest, this formula, A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. That is really a financial formula in many situations. Whereas if you have A equals P times E to the RT, that's where you have continuously compounded interest, often a problem that arises in nature. And so we're going to use these formulas in context of this. Now, I asked my first class about this, and second class, nobody really had an answer, so we'll try again. In any of your science classes, say chemistry or physical science, have you ever talked about half-life? All right, 0 for 3 today. Oh well. A radioactive substance decays in such a way that the amount of mass remaining after T days is given by this function, where M is measured in kilograms. So this function tells me, if I plug in a value for T, it tells me how much mass there is at that time. I would like to start by finding the initial mass. The initial mass is how much there is at time 0. That's what initial means. So M of 0 is 23e raised to what power? The 0 power. Why 0? Because negative 0.0043 times 0 is 0. Now, what Alex was saying is that e raised to the 0 power is 1 times 23 is 23. So that means that the initial mass is 23 kilograms. If I wanted to determine how much of the mass remains after 21 days, what would I do then? Plug in 21. Very good. 23 times e raised to the negative 0.0043 times 21. I do, but I know that we might not plug it in correctly. 23, and then where do I find the e? Very good. Good job. And then I've got negative 0.0043 times 21. Press enter, I get 21.014. So after 21 days, it's decreased from 23 kilograms down to 21 kilograms. So it's losing its mass. The next question is much more challenging. After how many days does it have a mass that's half of the initial mass? Very good. Alex says 11.5 is now the mass. When is that equal to 23 times e to the negative 0.0043 t? That's the equation I would like to solve. That's an equation that we taught you how to solve yesterday. Does anybody know the first step to solving that equation? You would divide by 23. We divide both sides by 23. You get 1/2 is e raised to the negative 0.0043 t. Now I have to get rid of the base e. How do I get rid of the base e? Natural log both sides. What happens to the right side? Cancels, leaving me with negative 0.0043 t. And on the left-hand side, I have the natural log of 1/2, which is negative 0.693. That one I have memorized. And so we take negative 0.693 and we divide it by negative 0.0043. 161.16. What does that mean? Yeah, to decrease to half its initial mass. Very good. Now, Look at the shape of the equation that you were given. Look at the form. 23e to the negative 0.0043t. Notice the base is e. Why? Because you have continuously compounded. In this case, not growth, but rather decay. The substance doesn't wait for, say, every 3 months before it decays. It doesn't decay once a year. It decays continuously. And that's when we use a base of E. Let's consider something that doesn't have a base of E. $1,500. You've got $1,500. If you had $1,500 today and you had to spend it in the next hour, and location was not an issue. So if you need to be in Chicago, you be in Chicago. What are you going to buy? Somebody. Anybody. A plane ticket out of this place. Okay, where'd you go? Maine. Wow, okay. All right, another cold place, but all right, that's fine. Anybody else? $1,500. What would you do? Christmas presents. Aw. But unfortunately, I only have 15 cents. Oh, very good. Our formula is the amount is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate divided by the number of times in which it was compounded raised to the nt power. I'm going to explain what each of these variables mean. Please focus in and know what I'm talking about. The amount we do not know yet. We're going to compute that. But the principal, P, is the initial investment. What's our initial investment? 1,500 times 1 plus the rate. Now, you don't write the rate as 8. You write it as a percent. What is my rate? 0.08 divided by what is n? N is the number of times on a yearly basis that the interest is compounded. Twice. Why? Semi-annually means twice a year. So divided by 2, raised to the n is that same number twice a year times t. T is the number of years which it is compounded. We're going to be 5, 10, and 15. So as opposed to doing the problem 3 times, I'm going to write an expression, a function, and I'm going to use my calculator to then compute it quickly. The amount is equal to 1,500 times, look at what we have here, 0.08 divided by 2 is 0.04, so I get 1.04 raised to the 2t power. There is my function. Notice my base. My base is 1.04. Why? Because it's 4% interest and is compounded twice a year. Look at the difference here. In this problem, the base was E, which is 2.71. See how the base is different? A lot of people wonder, where does E come from? That's your base when it's compounded continuously. That's why we get it. I showed you earlier we come up with E. Okay, I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to try to make life easy, because we all know we get stressed out this time of year, right? We got finals, we got a Western test coming up, we got hockey, we got basketball, we got all sorts of things. So we're going to type it in 1,500 times 1.04. And we're going to raise it to the, and I put parentheses around this exponent because we have 2 pieces in our exponent, so we have 2 times x. And then what I can do is I can go to my table. And then once I'm at my table, then I can just type in 5, 10, and 15. So I write a function, I use my calculator to evaluate it. That means that the amount after 5 years is equal to 2,220 point. If you look at here, it says 0.4, but if you highlight it, you can see below it's 37 cents. The amount after 10 years is $3,286.68. And then the amount after 15 years is $4,865.10. So here it has $1,500. He chose not to spend it at all. He decided to invest it for 15 years, and it more than doubled in its value, more than tripled in its value. Okay, true that. Flip it over. you have the skills right now to do problem 4 all on your own. See if you can. Ready, set, go. Anybody think they got the answer for the second question? Excellent work. We divide by 2,000, we get 2 is equal to 1.055 raised to the t power. I have to get rid of the 1.055. I do that by taking the log base 1.055 of both sides. What happens is on the right-hand side, those go away. I'm left with t is equal to. And on the left-hand side, I do log of 2 divided by log 1.055. Log of 2 divided by log of 1.055, and I get a grand total of 12.946. Not too bad. Let's see if we can confuse you. An investment of $800 is compounded quarterly over 6 years. The initial investment resulted in $1,245.83. What was the interest rate of the investment? So this time we're trying to find the, oh boy. So I have the amount is equal to principal times 1 plus r over n raised to the nt power. What is my amount? $1,245.83. Very good. Caitlin, what's my principal? 800 times 1 plus, what is r? Don't know. We call it r. Divided by how many, what is n? 4 times raised to the 4 times 6 years, which is 24th power. As you investigate how you're going to solve this, what you want to do is you want to consider the order of operations. Suppose that I plug something in for r. I would first divide by 4, then add 1, then take it to the 24th power, then multiply by 800. Correct? So when we solve it, we do it in reverse order of operations. So we're going to start by dividing by 800. So 1,245.83 divided by 800. And I get 1.5572875. Is equal to 1 plus r over 4 raised to the 24th power. What's the next thing to get rid of? How do I do that? Wow, Alex has it. It does not involve a logarithm. If it was squared, you would simply square root both sides, correct? So if it's to the 24th power, we take the 24th root of both sides. We've never done that before, have we? You've probably never taken something to the 1 over 24th power. So on the right-hand side, you have 1 plus r over 4. And on the left-hand side, we're going to have to take that 1.55728. The way we take the 24th root is we raise it to, and again, as I said, parentheses 1 divided by 24. And you get 1.0186. Now what do I do? Subtract the 1 and multiply by the 4. 0.0745 is equal to r, or 7.45% is equal to r. Did you know on this day in 1869, Wyoming grants women the right to vote? And in 1901, the first Nobel Prizes were awarded. And in 2016, Post Malone releases the album Stoney. Who's Post Malone? He do music. Is that what you just said? That made my day. Thank you. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He do music. That's great. Oh. I don't feel bad because you guys, I don't know who Post Malone is, but the fact is, I could ask you, do you know who Eric Clapton is? Okay, so there's a couple, but if I told you Eric Clapton is regarded as the greatest classical rock guitarist in the history, that's it's like, boy, we should know who that is, right? And sometimes we just know kind of who we listen to. So Chuck Berry, Chuck Berry. I would say classical rock was Chuck Berry, but yeah, Chuck Berry was good. I'll take Clapton. Maybe Jimmy Page. Anybody? Anybody? Guitarist for Led Zeppelin. Oh well. I don't listen to Post Malone. Should I? Am I missing out? I'm not missing out. Okay, all right, thank you. Rabbit population is modeled by that thing. Sometimes populations of things kind of go like this. Why would populations start to level off? No, I don't do it. Yeah, definitely easier to do in a deer than a human, but I still don't like harvesting organs out of things. All right, very good. So, that's the function that models the population of rabbits. So, P, the population is measured in thousands, and it's the number of rabbits at time T. T is the number of years since the population was tracked. Find the population after 10 years. I'm actually going to find it after 0 years because I'm really curious what the initial population is. I find it after 10 years, and it says how many years it takes for the population to reach 8,000. So how do I find the initial population? What do I plug in? (30/1 plus 5e to the 0 power. Everybody agree would be e to the 0? Let's calculate this. What is e to the 0? 1 times 5. 5 plus 1. 30 divided by 6. So we start out with 5 rabbits. 5,000 because it's measured in thousands. Very good. All right, then we check 10. So we're going to do 30 divided by 1 plus 5e to the negative 0.3 times 10. So I do worry that if I just gave people this problem, that a lot of people would not be able to plug that in correctly in their calculator. So let's see. We've got turn calculator on. 30 divided by, thank you, parentheses, 1 plus 5 e to the, look at another set of parentheses pops up, which is nice. Negative 0.3 times 10. Negative 0.3 times 10. 24 rabbits. 24,020. Well, hey, it looks like we went from 5,000 to 24,000. That means we crossed over 8,000, right? So if we crossed over 8,000, then I'm guessing that the time is somewhere between 0 and 10 that we actually get to 8,000. Would you agree? So that's kind of how I'm trying to have a reasonable answer. Like if I come up with 12, I know I'm wrong. In fact, if I came up with like 9.5, I'd be pretty suspicious, wouldn't you? It's like, well, somehow I'm supposed to go to 24,000 in half a year. It doesn't really just doesn't look like it should work out. So I'm guessing, anybody want to take a guess? How many years? 4? Okay. 3? 2.1? Okay. Well, find the population after 10 years. Find how many years it takes to reach 8,000. So I'm going to use my formula. What do I plug in for P? 8. Because we're measuring in thousands. Now I'm going to solve for T. A few ways to solve this equation. If you notice, it looks similar to one on your assignment from yesterday, because I'm trying to prepare you for what you're going to see. How do you solve it? What I would encourage you to do is if you have a fraction, set it equal to another fraction and cross multiply. And when I do that, I get 30 is equal to 8 times 1 is 8 plus 8 times 5 is 40 e to the negative 0.3 t. What to do to solve? Subtract 8, then divide by 40. So I have 30 minus 8 is 22. Divided by 40 is 0.55. 0.55 is equal to e to the negative 0.3 t. Oh boy, now I'm lost. Natural log is a beautiful thing. Natural log, natural log. Natural log of 0.55. I do not have that one memorized. Looks like it's negative 0.597 or 8, whatever, is equal to negative 0.3 t. Divide by negative 0.3. 1.99 is equal to t. So 1.99 years before it reaches 8,000. What do you think of that? Unless it gets chronic wasting disease. At which point we need to catch a rabbit, cut its head off, harvest the brain, and send it off for research. The lymph nodes. It doesn't matter what job you have in life. You got to find a way to have fun with it.